They say no army could ever conquer it, not Napoleon, not the Nazis. But what if I told you? The real secrets of this fortress were never about war at all. There's a massive stone fortress buried deep in the mountains of Europe. Walls so thick they've stopped cannonballs, secrets so deep even spies couldn't crack them. Most people have never heard of it. But this place shaped the course of European history, quietly, from the shadows. And what's hidden inside? That's what we're about to uncover. Why would someone build a fortress so massive, so over the top, in the middle of nowhere? Why spend decades, even centuries, pouring resources into something that was barely ever attacked? And most importantly, what were they trying to protect, or hide? The fortress with 1,000 names. Some call it the Giant of the Alps. Others just call it a mountain with windows. But officially it's known as Fortress Hohensalzburg. Perched high above the Austrian city of Salzburg, this medieval monster looks more like a fantasy movie set than a real military stronghold, but it's real, and its story stretches back over 900 years, built out of fear. Let's go back to the year 1077. The Pope and the Holy Roman Emperor were in a brutal power struggle. Europe was tearing itself apart between religion and politics, and the local Archbishop of Salzburg, he was right in the middle of it. So what did he do? He built a fortress, not a small one, not a lookout tower. He built a full-blown military fortress on top of a cliff where nobody could touch him. That was the start. It grew and grew and grew. Over the centuries, Hohensalzburg kept growing. Each new ruler added their own paranoid touch. New towers, thicker walls, deeper tunnels. By the 16th century it had become a small city behind walls, granaries, chapels, water cisterns, torture chambers, even a mechanical organ that played battle music during sieges. This place was meant to be self-sufficient, designed so that even if enemies surrounded it for months, those inside could still survive. But here's the thing, nobody ever seriously attacked it. So, why keep expanding? This is where things get weird. Why build the most heavily fortified structure in the region, and then never use it for real battle? Some historians believe the real threat wasn't outside, it was inside, from rebellion, betrayal, or even secrets the rulers didn't want getting out. Others say it became a vault, holding treasures, intelligence, or prisoners too dangerous to be left in plain sight. Let's dive into the darker side. Secrets in the stone. Inside Hohensalzburg's thick stone walls, there are hidden staircases that lead to nowhere. There are sealed-off rooms with no doors, and there's a rumored underground passage that stretches from the fortress all the way to the Salzburg Cathedral below. During World War II, the Nazis used parts of the fortress as a storage facility, and possibly something more. Some claim stolen art and intelligence documents were hidden here, and a few locals whisper about experiments, ones that were never officially documented. Truth? Legend? Hard to say. But that's the thing about ancient fortresses. They never give up their secrets easily. The Torture Tower. One of the most infamous spots in the fortress is the Torture Tower. You can still visit it today. The walls are lined with rusted iron hooks and tools that look straight out of a nightmare. But here's the catch. There's barely any record of who was imprisoned there. No names, no charges, just silence. Who were these people? Political enemies, spies, or someone who simply knew too much? The fortress that kept changing its purpose. Over the centuries, Hohensalzburg shifted roles. At times it was a bishop's retreat, then a barracks, then a prison. And sometimes, it was all three at once. In the 19th century it housed soldiers. In WW1, Italian prisoners of war. In World War II, that's where things get hazier. The fortress was officially unused, but rumors say some high-value individuals were detained there away from the public eye. Imagine being locked in a freezing stone cell. Walls sweating moisture, wind howling through the cracks, months or years passing without explanation. What secrets died in those walls? A symbol of psychological power. Here's what made this place special. It didn't just stop invaders with walls. It stopped rebellion with fear. When peasants revolted in 1525, they marched through the countryside, burning and demanding justice. But when they reached Hohensalzburg, they took one look at its walls and turned back. The message was clear: try if you dare. This fortress wasn't just stone, it was a warning. Architecture designed to intimidate. Let's break down the actual design. Hohensalzburg is shaped like a stretched-out triangle, hugging the mountaintop. It has multiple layers of defensive walls, some as thick as a car is long. There's a stone gate with murder holes where boiling oil or arrows could be dropped from above. The inner courtyard was surrounded by residential buildings for nobility and command. The outer zones, guards, soldiers, horses, and artillery, And perhaps the strangest detail, a golden bull organ that played sounds during wartime meant to terrify invaders. It wasn't just defense, it was psychological warfare. The day it was almost destroyed. For nearly 900 years the fortress remained untouched. No army ever breached it. But in 1945 it came closer than ever to destruction, not by invaders, but by its own country's collapse. As Allied forces advanced on Austria during the final days of World War II, Nazi officers panicked. Some sources say explosives were planted around parts of the fortress. Their goal? Destroy the evidence, art, documents, experiments, prisoners. But before the charges could be set off, the war ended, the city was captured, and the fortress? Saved by hours, maybe minutes. What was almost destroyed may still lie hidden within. Hohensalzburg Fortress was built to withstand war, but its real story is much deeper. It was a tool for fear, a vault for secrets, and maybe even a hiding place for things we were never supposed to find. 900 years. No army ever took it. But maybe the real enemy was never on the outside. If you enjoy our journey, please like and subscribe to our channel, and if you like our content and want to support me, you are welcome to buy me a coffee. The link is in the description box below.